Welcome, everybody, to Real Wreckers,
where we are all things movie,
all things TV,
all things nerd.
Well,
We're back.
We're back.
It's been a long week.
It's been an interesting weekend too. I know it's not the topic of our discussion, but I think as a nerd show we have to talk about what happened Sunday.
Oh boy, we
have to at least talk something about it.
We had a short chat, like 5 minutes before we went on, but we got to save all the nitty gritty for all the nitty gritty here.
Exactly. So, I mean,
where do we start? I mean, okay.
Well, first of all, before we get into that stuff, I just want to say, this Oscars kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie.
Which I have a theory about everything concerning this. Just like a short little, micro conspiracy.
I think like the big thing is that they cut so much out. They like rushed it so heavily.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's been losing its audience for a while now. Like, over time, less people watch TV, so this is like an exclusive event for the most part. Nobody really watches the Oscars as much. We like movies, but like a lot of people our age, Billy, you even told me earlier, it's a miracle that you even caught it live, because you have to. You got to keep up with your stuff.
Exactly.
But not everyone is really keeping up with the Oscars as much. It feels like the Grammys didn't really slow down that much. The drama depends on what it slows down or who's like the hype big artist of the year.
Unless you're Kanye West and just go up on stage and say, "I'm gonna let you finish,"
which that sounds like something that would happen at the Grammys. Like
it did.
I'm saying like stuff like that is expected. It's the Grammys, like the drama feeds. They're not just characters. They're not just actors. They're artists. They're performers. They know how to put on a performance, even if it's scripted or unscripted. To which the performance can be a fight is a performance and a staged act is a performance. So it depends on what you get. With the Oscars, it's like, oh, they're all actors, but they're not characters. They're just being actors. So whatever happens, it's happening. Like, unless it's a skit, which is once again more of a Grammys thing. That's just. That's what's going to lead me to my theory.
But even then,
that.
I feel like, for the most part, most of the picks were really good. Most of the picks were well earned. I'm still pissed that Kristen Stewart didn't get the Oscar for Best Actress.
Snubbed.
Yeah, she deserved it for Spencer. She transformed herself.
I was pretty happy, and weirdly related to something that happened recently. I think we were both pretty happy that Billie Eilish won for the best score. Is it score or soundtrack? Because
best original song.
Original song, which is part of an original soundtrack technically. Because when you hire a separate artist, it's not like the score of the movie. It's like this song can exist by itself.
So the category is called Best Original Song.
Yes, but her song is part of the soundtrack, not the score.
Correct. Okay. That's why there's two different categories: Best Original Song, Best Original Score.
Okay, just making sure I'm labeling it correctly. Recently, I actually got the same microphone as Billie Eilish, an Audio-Technica AT2020. I even got one of these articulating arms for it. The only thing it didn't come with was a shock mount, so I was really mad because I had to order one on Amazon myself, and then it snapped as soon as it was broken when I got it. So I got a whole complaint for it. I got a replacement for free, which is good. So yeah, I was just happy because No Time to Die.
Yeah, and I think
it had an award coming. I didn't know who or what. Billie Eilish, I can see it.
And I think we have to congratulate Troy Custer from Coda for winning Best Supporting Actor. He is completely deaf, and he won Best Supporting Actor. Which
is that a first?
Yeah.
Wasn't there also first? There was two firsts. It was first disabled person to win an Oscar, and first I'm trying to remember. Was it black actor? I don't think it was black actor, was it?
No, it was not black.
No. It was something. It was I forget. It's like first two. It was like two big steps, including that were like the first of the first at the Oscars.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I think it's something involved.
Oscars milestones.
Yeah. Well, while we're thinking of this, let's just get this out of the way. The big elephant in the room relating to this year's Oscars.
The incident.
The slap.
The slap.
Do you all remember that show, The Slap? It was like a little thing.
I think I'm thinking of the Kick.
The advertising was really weird.
What was it on Nickelodeon?
Nope. It was a drama.
It sounds like a Nickelodeon show.
Nope. It was.
I'm thinking of the punishment We saw it in Jackass Forever, and we see them on what's that? What was that slime game show that Nickelodeon had for a while that had the armchairs? Like
Literally every single one of their game shows.
No,
that is what you're thinking.
The cool one with the hand chairs that got a bunch of like actors from iCarly, Victorious. I'm trying to think.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Big. It was like a dark room, and like you got slimed at the end.
But bro, that came out of nowhere.
That well, I think
he just stepped up on stage and went like,
bam. I think everyone.
King Richard.
That was such a good line. You can't. It's hard to get mad at something like that. I mean, what he said was messed up, but the rule of comedy: all or nothing.
Or nothing, and the big rule of comedy. The only way that comedy is funny if it's at someone's expense, whether it's yours or someone else's. Emotional, physical, it has to be at someone's expense.
We said this about The Boys. It's all or nothing, and it works better when it's all and all and all, no limits. As long as it's funny. Is it funny? Then it works.
Exactly.
He was laughing until he looked over.
Yeah.
I think we can all say this.
And I can honestly say that I don't think that was scripted, because right after that happens, Chris Rock is just fumbling through his words time and time again.
But also, he's an actor, and they've known each other for years, so it sounds like it could be a skit, and we will never know, technically.
I honestly am betting all of my cards that was not a skit. That was for real because of that whole... Because you can't fake fumbling through that many like lines. You can tell that he went straight from the book from then on out.
Or, if it was a skit, but then Will actually slapped him because he didn't expect his wife to actually have that face. So Chris was ready for it, had a joke revved up anyway, depending on the reaction. Like, imagine he just has a joke for everyone who ever like tries to come at him for something.
Oh, he does, like, for sure now.
And I was like, Will wouldn't have slapped Dwayne Johnson. No, he definitely would have, because Dwayne Johnson's like a big marshmallow. I don't mean that in a mean way. I literally mean like
emotional marshmallow.
He's a softie. Like,
I mean, he dressed up as Bambi at one point during SNL.
That's also like it would probably feel like a tickle to him. And Will Smith isn't a small fry either. Everyone's saying, man, this is like the most Philadelphia event, the most Philadelphia Oscars until that. No, that is when it became 100%.
Also, I feel like that's just straight up racist.
What? No.
The most Philadelphia Oscars. I'm like, am I?
I mean,
come on.
No, Will Smith is from Philadelphia.
I'm not saying. I'm saying whoever's saying
this.
Yeah,
no.
The people who are saying this, they're just straight up racist.
No, I was saying because it was Will Smith that won. He's from Philadelphia. I think I passed by his house a bunch of times actually on my way in and out. It was like, you know how big golf courses are, where like it's just like a big spanning field. Dude, his house is huge. It's scary. Or one of his houses, the one near
the Philadelphia house.
It's like it's like outside of Philadelphia though, like way outside of Center City.
Yeah, but we just had to talk about the Oscars real quick because we're running a nerd show and the Oscars happen. So
movies, movies,
exactly. And also, wait a minute, one other thing. Zack Snyder's Justice League got recognition from the Oscars themselves.
Wow, that's the first time higher-ups ever acknowledged Zack Snyder's anything.
It is the Flashpoint, the whole Flash scenario, the whole Flash scene, that was the most cheered moment according to the Oscars, even beating out the Spider-Man moment of Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire meeting each other.
No way.
That won out in terms of the best cheer moment, and while I'm pretty sure most people can agree with that, I'm willing to, because Zack Snyder's Justice League got its dues.
I'm glad that it got its dues. I only disagree that I feel like No Way Home got more cheers.
Oh, absolutely, but I also feel like that's only because we all saw that in theaters and we could only see Zack Snyder's Justice League at home.
So we would not actually know.
We would never know.
It's an unfair playing field, so this is the most fair they could literally go just by judgment and by like a vote. So I can see why, but I also feel like circumstances made it an unfair comparison.
So basically what we're trying to say is take that, Warner Brothers.
Take that, Warner Brothers. Period.
You lose. You may have gotten all of our money from our HBO Max subscriptions.
You lost the war, but we won this battle, and that's all that matters.
Exactly.
We had one goal, and it wasn't to win this. It was to beat you here in this. Just in this ring, not in this fight, not in this tournament, not in this champion. Here. It was for this. But yeah, sorry.
We had to get all that because
we had to.
Couple big things.
Big things.
Couple big things.
Big things.
But with that said, let's move on to our main topic of discussion, Middle Earth.
LOTRTH.
Yeah. Let's just get this in.
My old friend.
My dear Frodo. Pretty sure that's only from The Hobbit.
Baggins. We're talking a little bit about both, right?
Yeah, we're talking about a little bit about The Hobbit. We're talking about a little bit about Lord of the Rings, and by default, we have to talk a little bit about The Ring of Power, which is going to be the new prequel show coming out in September.
Prequel.
Yep, coming out in September.
Baller. I'm actually kind of excited for that. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna really despise me.
Yeah.
You know what I liked more? Just off of viewing in this, because I made a mistake. The same way, original trilogy fans will get mad if you ever watch the prequels first.
You watched The Hobbit first?
And my criticism is very funny, I think.
Okay, I thought that was what I was gonna get mad at, which I was like, no, I'm not gonna get mad that you watched a prequel first.
But that I liked it a little more.
That's what I'm gonna get mad at you about.
Now, what do you think discomforted me the most between the jump? Like,
the fact that Legolas doesn't age. Actually, no, he aged backwards.
No, what I'm sorry. Elijah Wood's face discomforted me at first. I'm sorry. Not even
What?
Not as Frodo. I like Elijah Wood's adult face with stubble. You know, people who have baby faces and they try. He has like.
Oh, you mean Daniel Radcliffe?
What?
Daniel Radcliffe?
No, Elijah Wood.
No, Harry. No, I'm also talking.
Oh
about
yeah.
Radcliffe.
Tobey Maguire, Elijah Wood, Daniel Radcliffe. That early 2000s.
Will Wheaton.
We spotted a baby face. He's never gonna grow out of it, so we can bring him back as many times as we want, pretty much. And like it'll only take like a close shave to get rid of that, to get rid of your age.
Get rid of your age just with the Actually, that's how I feel most days.
Yeah, like turning back into like a 15-year-old. That's why I'm not gonna go clean shaven again for a while, unless I'm trying to like be younger me in a role or something. For that, I'm sorry, Elijah Wood has I feel like all of the press photos of him made me so uncomfortable. Also, the first cover of Unexpected Adventure, just when
Unexpected Journey. That's what you're saying.
Unexpected Journey. My apologies. He has a Kubrick stare in that poster.
I'm pretty sure who you're talking about is Martin Freeman.
No, I like Martin Freeman's face.
Okay, so you're not talking about Unexpected Journey.
Oh,
was it
the first Lord of the Rings? Fellowship of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Wood's face discomforted me early on, and that sounds very mean. I think that's why
you don't like Lord of the Rings as much because you don't like Elijah Wood's face.
And there's a lot more close-ups, and in press photos it doesn't compliment him. Every like awkward screenshots that people take for like any sort of like news article.
Yeah.
In the movie, it's great. In the movie, it's fine. I have no problem with it. He's actually adorable in the movie. Every picture, though, like stills they take or decide to take, I swear I could find like a better one seconds later after the one that they screenshot with. It makes me so because I like Martin Freeman a little more generally.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like Martin Freeman is an international treasure.
He nails the role as like hesitant and lucky. Like there's courage.
There's courage there.
There's a bluff. He's a bard. He's a stealthy bard. He's not a thief. He literally convinces to be uneaten.
He's a bard that refuses to even bard.
Yes, he is a stubborn, hesitant bard posing as a thief.
He is a Baggins of Baggend. I'm sorry. I love that line. I love that line. It was in all the trailers when the movie was first coming out, and I was like, why did that line stick with me?
Oh, dude, you have to like rev up the Baggins.
Yes.
But yeah, Martin Freeman's face is more appetizing than Elijah Wood's. I'm sorry. I'm just being real.
So you don't like Lord of the Rings as much as The Hobbit because you don't find...
Also, when something... It's like unfairly comparing the sequels to the original trilogy. Like, they look very similar, but the unfair visual prowess that one has just because of the technology.
Honestly, I feel like this is where Lord of the Rings has the advantage. I feel like the effects in Lord of the Rings are way better than the effects in The Hobbit.
Especially for... What do you call... Do you call him Smeagol or Goblin? Or Gollum?
Gollum.
Do you call him Smeagol? Because it's a good guy? Smeagol's the hero, technically.
I think I usually refer to him as Gollum.
I usually refer to him as Smeagol.
Because Smeagol sort of like died. He was
yeah,
dead.
Gollum was the last one.
He was dead, and then Gollum was born from him.
But was Smeagol closer to the real him before he became sort of
Yes. Yeah. Smeagol was him before he became all ringified.
So I'd call him Smeagol still. I don't think he willfully wanted to be Gollum. I think Gollum's more of like the cursed name.
When it comes to the ring, no one willingly wants to do anything.
Yeah, so I call Smeagol the character. Gollum is his problem, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
Gollum is like a parasite.
Deadpool's the real person. Deadpool isn't the real personality Wade Wilson is in a way.
Yeah. So
Batman is the real personality. Bruce Wayne is a facade. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So with that out of the way, I just need to clarify one thing about Lord of the Rings. I can't get into it.
Which is weird because we both like D&D and kind of fantasy stuff. But you, I know, like Harry Potter.
I acknowledge they are fan-frickin-tastic movies. Mm-hmm. I would honestly say that they are some of the best. That at least Return of the King is one of the best movies ever made. But I can't get into them.
But it doesn't block your judgment to appreciate it.
Absolutely not.
For effects, I respect Lord of the Rings much more to an extent. What I think Harry Potter does well is the races a little bit better, especially trolls. When I like Skyrim trolls, Harry Potter trolls, they look more troll. Everyone in Lord of the Rings is really small. Also, that is the confusing thing. Is like
no, that's the hobbits and that's the dwarves.
No, but even
they're meant to be small.
How tall do you think Gandalf is?
I would say like 6'3".
He's 5'6". Look up his height right now.
What?
Gandalf, super like he tall and imposing, pointy hat, long stick, looks down on everyone.
5'6".
Yep.
That
exactly.
What?
And the giant in the woods, who's the last of his people.
Who's the last of his people?
Aragorn. He's 6'6", which he's kind of obvious. But dude, even like humans and everyone, I guess malnourishment really does shrink you, huh? Because actually,
historically, people in the Middle Ages were shorter than we are now.
But I feel like the camera helps. It's underutilized how staunchly different. Like dwarves are not too short because they're stubby though. Dwarves actually, when you look at them, especially from above, they look much stubbier. But like to a hobbit, they literally look like a giant Viking.
Yeah.
Or like a slightly taller Viking.
But I feel like we have to acknowledge this. Well, I was gonna say something, but then I lost my train of thought. That's
about the dwarves, about the hobbits.
Something about that. Oh yeah, about the Hobbit. There was the big thing about in the Hobbit when most of the dwarves look like Gimli. Most of the dwarves look like Gimli was the original dwarf, so most of the dwarves from the Hobbit looked like dwarves to us.
Well, like ginger, split tail,
exactly,
twin tail beard.
Exactly, except
tiny Viking.
For three specific dwarves.
Who were they made to be attractive?
They were specifically made to be attractive because the studio wanted to focus on them more.
And I'd say this is about like a 1/4 inch thick.
Mm-hmm.
The Hobbit book, okay, my older sister explained this to me pretty well. The Hobbit book is very thin. It's about as thin as my quarter. It's like a 1/4 inch thick, right?
Yeah.
You could probably get it done in like a month if you really, really read it. If you had if it's like during the summer, so you didn't have like work or school or anything.
I know people who have finished it in. They've had a day where they've just had nothing to do.
3-hour-long movies. How long are the extended cuts, or the director's cut, or the
extended edition?
Extended, sorry.
I'm pretty sure that they're a little over 3 hours.
Okay, you stretched out this 1/4 inch book, added unnecessary things, distorted characters to make them attractive to attract an audience that who is the attractive? They're fantasy fans. They don't have to be attractive. You could have 5 mushrooms in your D&D campaign.
To be fair, in the book, the Battle of the Five Armies was so short, which I feel like if we're talking about a finale, you gotta make that a movie. You gotta make Battle of Five Armies a finale instead of just a little bit. And also, I will give credit. I didn't mind the love. I honestly didn't mind the love story between the one dwarf and the elf. I thought they had good chemistry.
You're not so short for a dwarf.
In Desolation of Smaug, I mean, they had good chemistry in that movie, and I did buy them as a couple. It wasn't until Battle of the Five Armies that the bad dialogue came in, and it really soured that relationship.
And like stepped
Why
on all
does
that
it
progress.
hurt? Because it was real.
Oh my
That's up there with I don't like sand.
god. No. Just the when that little farm boy's elder tells him about all the good back in the days, and we wouldn't know what that meant until the prequels. Yeah, Obi-Wan had a really interesting Bilbo.
Oh my god.
Bilbo-Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Bilbo-Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Bilbo.
Bilbo.
That
Bilbo-Obi-Wan.
has to be our title. Bilbo-Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Bilbo-Obi-Wan Kenobi. Actually, our title for the episode is "One Does Not Simply Forget to Watch Their Last Two Ghibli Movies."
Oops.
Yes.
Oops.
Yeah, the original plan for us to do was to do an episode of Ghibli movies this episode, but we had scheduling conflicts. You were busy with filming stuff, and I was busy watching The Lost City. One of us
And filming stuff.
One of us was being productive. The other one lost brain cells.
The one was the one was a producer, the one was a viewer, and then we switched, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then you shot a bunch of your reviews, and then I watched a bunch of Lord of the Rings movies.
Yes. So,
but yeah, scheduling conflicts. There's just been some stuff happening recently, dude. Between the slap, I got burned by acid today.
yeah,
that was fun.
that was a long story.
That was that was very fun.
So, with that said, let's move on to our polls.
Let's look at those polls.
Yeah, let's move on to our polls on our Instagram via our lovely followers on our Instagram.
Thank you, our lovely followers.
Exactly. So with that said,
Just before we start,
yep.
I just want to give a shout out to Haley's comment.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, like, thank you.
He doesn't need to give us shout outs, but he does. And it's nice.
It's just nice.
Yeah.
So, in like a drive-through style, we just want to say, stay after the show for silky jazz and smooth soul. Smooth jazz and silky soul.
We're terrible at titles.
We're sorry. Sally sold Silky Soul by the seashore. I think that's right.
What? Okay, so
You want to get into those polls?
yeah. Our first question was, who's your favorite Lord of the Rings character?
Favorite?
Who's your favorite?
Oh, that's actually a toughie.
I'm just gonna say that I know this wasn't one of the polls that we did, but I have to get this out of the way. I need to get my least favorite character out of the way. Arwen. Aragorn's wife, girlfriend, partner, whatever. I hate her. She takes up so much screen time, takes up so much motivation, and she does nothing. She has no personality. And while, to be fair, that is probably the fault of J.R.R. Tolkien, probably not developing female characters that much.
I was gonna say he has he does bromances. Tolkien is the bromance author.
Out of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, there are 4 big female characters.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Besides
there's Arwen, there's Éowyn, there's Galadriel,
I think that was built on more strong female characters.
and then there's Toriel from The Hobbit, who was a movies only character.
Yeah, I'd say The Hobbit kind of tried to assist with the faults of Tolkien. Tried to compensate for some of his.
I like Toriel from The Hobbit.
Yeah,
she was cool.
To me, I feel honestly, young Bilbo. I love it. Sorry,
We're focusing on Lord of the Rings, not The Hobbit.
Oh yeah,
we'll get into The Hobbit later on.
Sam's my favorite Lord of the Rings. Bilbo's still my favorite from The Hobbit.
Yeah, so
which is weird to like a main character that much.
So I feel like it's weird to like a supporting character that much, while the supporting character doesn't really get a big spotlight until the last movie.
I'd like to tell you about my favorite Star Wars character. Big spotlight until the end.
I hate you.
I knew I could slip that in.
You had to slip Boba. Yeah.
I didn't even have to say it.
Wow.
I can sneak it in without saying it. Sorry.
That's what she said. I had to say it. I had to say it.
You just had to.
So my favorite Lord of the Rings character, that's a tough one because
Sorry if I keep bouncing to the Hobbit also.
I like the Lord of the Rings characters. I don't love them. I don't love any Lord of the Rings character. I'm gonna be honest. Gandalf is cool. Aragorn is fine. Legolas is cool when he's not beast mode. Maybe Boromir might be my favorite.
Really?
Boromir might be my favorite. I love Samwise, but for the sheer fact that of me trying to be different from everyone else,
One does not simply pick a favorite.
I'm not gonna lie. Boromir might be my favorite.
Boromir did say one does not simply, right? Yep. Okay, that
one
works.
does not
Joke
simply
works.
walk into Mordor.
It reminds me of Rick Grimes a little bit.
Because they both have beards and dad.
And I was gonna say beards and long hair, but yeah,
Beards and dad. But I feel like Boromir because like Sean Bean did a great job in the movie, and I feel like Boromir had a great arc in Fellowship of the Ring, and it ended with, I would say spoilers, but one, this is a 2 decades old movie, and 2, it's Sean Bean.
I think these are both like older. Wait, what was the first one? Was 2002?
I think it was 2001.
2001. Okay, I was gonna say they're like our age then.
Yeah.
So like you had time. Come on.
Exactly.
I had
when
time.
Boromir dies, it's awesome. He dies like a hero. That's a hero's death right there.
Yeah, he actually might be my favorite.
He took
honestly.
3 arrows, kept fighting each time there was an arrow in him, and even then, he didn't die for like a solid 5 minutes.
First, it was adrenaline helping him. Then once that burned out, that was
all
heart.
will.
That was will. That was heart.
Exactly. If anything, Boromir deserves to be king. He deserved it more than Aragorn.
I think Gandalf the White should have pulled Boromir out to be king.
Yeah.
But then he would have technically been the king of the undead.
I feel like Boromir,
The new king of the dead.
Boromir at first in the movie was really cocky because, to be fair, he was the golden child of his father, and then over the movie, he like grew more compassionate and more humble, to the point where while he was dying, he professed to Aragorn that he would have loved to serve with him, my captain, my king.
I was thinking, I also, for some reason, my brain went to Dead Poets Society when he said that. I was like, oh, my captain, my captain. Is that what? No, it's not what's from. It's from Dead Poets Society. I wasn't sure if Dead Poets Society might have referenced it without thinking.
It might have, because, I mean, I haven't read Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings came out all the way back.
Yeah, so it might have been like indirect in a way.
What do you think is like more influential to just modern pop culture? Lord of the Rings or what was it? Spirit of the West or
Journey to the West?
Journey to the West, that's what it is.
Well, depends, because Journey to the West, in the East, I'd say Journey to the West kills it in the East, and then everything that Journey to the West touched spread to the East. So indirectly, Journey to the West influenced a lot, but
Which do you think like was more influential?
That's
a tough one because Lord of the Rings practically invented fantasy as we know it nowadays.
In the West, though. That is the thing.
Yes.
I'd say they were mostly equally influential on each of their half of the planet.
Yeah.
I think Journey to the West continues more recently with new things.
Especially with anime.
Yes, I was going to say more new things like that coming recently spread more. But fantasy will always be a constant. Yeah. So one is, it's a rock and what's the name? A immovable object and a constant force.
With that said, we did have one of our Instagram followers, participate in this poll. Mr. Fred the Duck said that his favorite Lord of the Rings character is Legolas. Which, I guess, I mean, he's cool, but
he doesn't say a lot. I mean, he doesn't really need to say a lot.
He doesn't need to say a lot.
Archers don't talk.
It's always the snipers of a group.
And when they do, it's so sly.
Exactly. Just look at Bad Batch.
Yeah. Like, they don't really need to talk because, like, he's over there. Everyone points at you from 5,000 feet away.
I would honestly say, well, we're going to talk about D&D a lot with this episode because we kind of have to. Mm-hmm. Like, of all the things, like, Legolas and Crosshair from Bad Batch, they are, like, rogues.
And
they're rogues.
And Longshot from
Yes.
Avatar.
Oh, absolutely. They're
Another strong title.
they're rogues, and everyone loves a good rogue.
And you can't, as I say, you can't really hate them. Maybe what's his
Like
name?
I feel like
From Bad Batch. What's his name? Sorry.
Crosshair.
Crosshair had a choice too.
Crosshair is a bad guy, but he has motivation behind his choices where you're like, okay, yeah,
Bad
fine.
guy, but not bad person.
Exactly.
Like the bad guy's not a bad person.
Exactly. But with that said, let's move on to our next poll, which is, well, you already touched upon this by accident. What's your favorite Hobbit character? I think, yeah, there's...
Say it. Say it.
It's Bilbo.
No. What did I respond with? On when you had to say what? What are you talking
Bilbo
about?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No. When I responded to the Insta just to annoy you.
Just to annoy me.
The
wall-eyed orc.
Man, what you do?
I got so confused when you said that to me.
I think because of that scene, I was bouncing between it. But Bilbo, I knew how much I liked his.
Well, first of all, it's not an orc; it's a troll.
I said troll.
You said you refer.
And I corrected myself because I was saying that trolls look more like orcs than the orcs. The orcs look. Once again, Harry Potter, Skyrim, other fantasy. Trolls aren't supposed to be like bulky. That's a brute. That's an orc. That's a big guy. Trolls, I don't think of them as
Trolls.
like
You imagine them as singing with long hair.
under bridges, yeah. But
That's
too
not
close.
exactly what I meant, but okay.
I was gonna say it's too close to like. Wait, what are you thinking of?
I was thinking of the movies, the Trolls movies.
No, not trolls. Trolls like the ones that have the spikes that have my bed head. I actually do get troll hair a lot of times, but no, I don't think of those trolls. They look like orcs to me, and the orcs should be like bigger. I think, in my humble, even though the orcs are like huge and everyone else is very small also.
I honestly found those trolls kind of annoying, but
I like their banter.
But I understand that they were originally meant for kids because The Hobbit is a kid's book. But even then, I would rather take that kid banter over Jar Jar kid banter.
Oh yeah, once again, I'd say as a prequel, Hobbit does better
No.
than the prequels.
No.
Really?
Holy no.
Holy bias.
Holy no.
I dropped my bias to say that.
No, because I will admit, I watched The Hobbit first before I saw Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no bias when I say that The Hobbit is not nearly as good as the prequel trilogy, in my opinion.
I'd say for production value, not as a story. Like, what's the name? The Hobbit's going to age better than the prequels with time.
Oh, hell no. I think they've aged horribly already.
The battle on Naboo, it looks dull, but it looks correct. Like, it doesn't look out of place, awkward. There's no green. There's no green bleed from green screens. There's no Jar Jar level.
I honestly think, like it or not, the prequels have aged scarily like wine.
The Battle of Naboo, once again.
Battle of Naboo is amazing.
The flat grass, where you can see its polygons. You want to pull up some images?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I still stand by it.
Okay.
I still stand by it.
You're wrong.
I stand by it because the effects in The Hobbit were horrible back then. I was watching them in the movie theaters, and I was like, wow, it's cool, but it doesn't look real in the slightest. And I always felt that it was weird when Elrond and Galadriel were actually fighting the ghosts, and it was cool, but it felt wrong.
Was Gollum a real, like, prosthetic actor in Lord of the Rings? Because remember the one scene where he's, like, in the shadows and you can see his irises reflect perfectly?
No, I don't think, I think he was CG, they just didn't know how exactly he would look.
Okay, because in that first one, I think he looks amazing. As long as they kept him shadowed like that, I feel like it worked better.
I feel like Lord of the Rings, in terms of effects, far outseed The Hobbit.
That is weird, just because I feel like The Hobbit was more stable. I feel like it has
that's the sad fact of most prequel trilogies. Speaking of the Star Wars prequel trilogies, with the advent of CGI, they think, oh, we can go bigger and we can go with more CGI effects and less practical effects, when it more or less instantly dates it and doesn't look nearly as good as when you mix the practical effects with the CG.
Oh yeah, mixing practical and CG will always win over everything, like Jurassic Park as an example. Yeah. For the prequels though, they were also trying because, you know, the whole vision was you can't get 200 million people actually with any practical stuff. That if you want them to move and fight, you need a giant CG map for that. And that's why an army that big needed to be that, because you're also it's a clone army, so it's duping a million people. Yeah. What did The Hobbit need that they couldn't have done already, especially concerning things like the trolls? Because the orcs in Lord of the Rings, yeah, those are people, and they still look unhuman. Like, they look like orcs. The trolls, they did look a little flat. There's a lot of these effects that I think we both agree on. There's a lot of flatness going on. Gollum, we never had an amazing shot like his intro shot where we see, you know, nice shadows on. The first thing that you do is make the eyes reflect, so we know his eyes are huge, like unnaturally huge, and we see that happen over time, and it's done so well. Also, Andy Serkis's performance, you know, it's Andy Serkis.
The fact that he hasn't won an Oscar
like, what would his Oscar be? Like, best supporting role or best?
It depends. It all depends what movie he would be in, because if we're talking about, because I feel like he could win an Oscar for most of his performances, like Gollum, best supporting actor, with Caesar from Planet of the Apes, best actor.
Yeah, because every time he's in a role, he nails it, even if it's just a person too. Especially in like
even King Kong, he nails.
Black Panther,
he was so entertaining, and even Batman,
dude,
he was heartbreaking as Alfred.
Yeah,
that hospital scene was like, man.
So basically, Andy Serkis has been snubbed, period. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Like, not just out. He's been snubbed, dude. Give him an award. He deserves it.
I would honestly say Leonardo DiCaprio has been snubbed less than Andy Serkis, because at least Leo gets nominated.
And he's always constantly recognized no matter what, even outside of any award level
And even
thing.
before he won his Oscar for The Revenant, at least he was nominated. Andy Serkis didn't even get a single nomination.
Because you can't, it's hard to appreciate when you don't know, Andy Serkis and the Andy Serkis lore, you know?
Exactly.
If you don't know, then you won't appreciate it, but you will appreciate his roles without knowing that it's him.
Yeah.
Sorry, we had to go on a small tangent about that. But
justice for Andy Serkis.
Yeah, justice for Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
But for Gollum specifically, though, the fact that it was great to see him evolve, especially like when he wasn't a hobbit, was he? He was a human?
I think he looked like a hobbit to me.
Oh yeah, he does. He had giant feet also too. Which the creepy hand thing they did. I was jealous because I used to climb a lot. I realized why everyone kept calling me a hobbit for a while. It wasn't just because I had like giant hairy feet. It was also because I liked to climb. I could walk over hot rocks, and I had like calluses and everything, which made playing guitar easy at first until I got soft, and then my hands couldn't handle it. But we never got any experimental, how good is it? Test it with the shadows, test it with prosthetics, test it in this environment in the dark. Because
there were multiple times where Gollum was in the dark.
I did hard notice. It was like soft dark where it didn't look like, I can't see, it's in a shadow.
Oh, yeah, true.
Because those soft reflective ones, you're in a cave. It's not really reflecting like it should be. There were also scenes where they were outside. Yes. Specifically for like cave scenes in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, though, because when he's outside,
I can only think of one cave scene from The Hobbit. No scenes specifically in a cave in Lord of the Rings.
In the dialogue, just like the voiceover dialogue, when it's describing it, and then we just see Smeagol in the dark, but we don't know it's him at first.
Oh yeah.
As like when he's like, if you pull up like Smeagol first picture or something, or like.
Well, technically, the first picture of Smeagol we got was his hands.
Yeah.
Shia Baggins.
I forgot what I was saying though. But one of the cave scenes when Gandalf first lights his staff in the dark,
Mines of Moria.
I could tell immediately that wasn't actually a light being put on.
Oh no!
It was a neutral thing. And they dropped the exposure and just did a feathered mask so that wherever he was holding the stick of the one, because I was like, wait, the shadows aren't moving. It's literally just like black overlay okay, cut a hole cut a nice feathered hole where his staff is poking, and it tried to mimic it. I'm like, that is where Lord of the Rings didn't age well. Is lighting effects, but Hobbit had dull and like overall, I can't tell if we're outside or inside right now unless there's rocks on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like that is where the dullness happens and why it doesn't look real. It's smooth, it's nice, but this isn't a wedding photo. I don't want it to be so smooth and round that I can't see the texture of something that isn't human. Because then I'm just like, oh, it's just a computer monster, I guess, because it doesn't have skin or hair. Which is why the orcs in Lord of the Rings, once again, established the best form of practical plus CGI.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So with that said, the topic was who's your favorite character from The Hobbit, and we went on that entire rant.
Bilbo.
Okay. Yeah.
Just easy.
Bilbo.
Although I do love Gandalf's humor a lot.
Doggo. Doggo outside.
There's a doggo outside.
There's a doggo outside.
Aren't our speakers out there?
I don't
Oh
know.
my! Is that a Samoyed?
I think it's a samoyed.
Oh my goodness! That's your favorite dog, isn't it?
Yes.
Man, you know
Big fluffs.
You know it's got to be hell to clean.
Oh, absolutely. But with that said,
Let's get into those polls now. That
Yes.
we just got that out of the way. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Bilbo's the best character.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
that's really like powerful to make a strong character, like a lead that you like and you want to follow.
Because Martin Freeman is so charismatic, so easily charismatic.
Him and Andy Serkis, I feel like if I see them again together in a movie, it's not going to be a bad movie.
I'll be honest. Actually, no. What I'm going to be honest about gets into one of the other ones. So, we will move on to what other people in our polls said was their favorite character from The Hobbit, including Moss Friend.
My older sister.
Yes, she said, "I love Bilbo, but this movie dragged out a very short book into something way too long.
That's what I'm saying.
However, Goblin Town in the extended edition is second to none. I will hear no arguments. I can honestly say no. Goblin
Did you
Town
hear
from
the 70s Goblin Town song?
Goblin Town from the extended editions of The Hobbit. It's awful.
The 70s cartoon. Have you ever seen the 70s cartoon?
The Rankin Bass one, no.
Was it Rankin Bass?
Yep, Rankin Bass.
Was it 2D animated?
Yep.
I thought Rankin Bass was exclusively like 3D for the most
No,
part.
no.
Stop motion for the most
No.
part.
That's
just
what they're most famous for.
But they also
They made a Return to the King, and they also made The Hobbit.
Oh yeah, the art style does look similar. Have you seen anything of the 70s cartoon though of the Lord of the Rings?
No.
Do you want to hear Goblin Town?
No, I don't.
It's a miracle.
I don't like Goblin Town in either of them.
My goodness, it is so funny and rambunctious. That is all I'm going to say.
If you want my opinion, the only song there are only two songs that should be sung in The Hobbit. That's what Bilbo Baggins hates, and the best one, Misty Mountains Cold.
Goblin Town.
No, Misty Mountains Cold.
Hashtag Goblin Town.
Nope. Hashtag Misty Mountains.
Goblin Town is
That
like
sounds
Flavor Town.
like. No, I'm not gonna say what
Misty Mountains. Sounds like a Fortnite location.
That's not what I was gonna say, but okay.
What are you gonna say? Sounds like a soda.
We don't need to get into that.
No. I want to know. I'm thinking Fortnite and soda. What are you thinking? Oh.
Yep. I mouthed it to him.
Oh.
Okay, so.
All right, Billy's going to say it in 5, 4. Oh, I'm not plugged in.
Well, I'm gonna say it. You want me to say it?
You're gonna say it?
Yep. Okay.
Hold on. I'll let you know when you can say it.
Okay.
All right, in 3, 2, say it. You can't say that. So he was going to say Sierra Mist.
Yeah.
The mountain soda.
Sure. Well, with that said, let's get into our final Instagram poll, which is what is the most awesome moment from Lord of the Rings / The Hobbit? You can do either or this one.
Okay. I think you want to start. I guess mine's kind of simple.
Well, if we're talking Lord of the Rings, then you have to go with Riders of Rohan. That is I wasn't there for the theater experience, But I can honestly imagine before Avengers Assemble, that was the most cheered moment in cinema history.
No way.
I can honestly say because that moment honestly gives me chills every time. Most of the Rohan scenes actually give me chills because I love the song. I love the Rohan theme.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like when Theoden in Two Towers is being restored to his like normal self, and he slowly pulls his sword out of its sheath, and I'm honestly, and the theme is playing. I was like watching this like New Year's Eve. I'm pretty sure New Year's weekend. I was watching The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings just to catch up on them, and while I was watching that moment, I was like, "What? I'm tearing up."
I was gonna say, I actually really teared up a lot more than I thought I would, honestly.
Yeah,
the score, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got homesick.
Howard Shore was amazing.
I got homesick watching it.
But honestly, Riders of Rohan, amazing, best scene in all of Lord of the Rings history. If we talk about The Hobbit, then I have to go with something a bit more small scale. Do you remember in The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, when they're in the forest with the spiders, Bilbo drops his ring and one of the baby spiders comes out, and not even like on purpose, but the baby spider is like constantly like poking the ring and not like completely oblivious to it, and then Bilbo gets really angry and stabs it a bunch of times saying, "Mine, mine, 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 mine," and then like he grabs the ring, says "mine" to its dead corpse, and there's just an entire like minute of Bilbo just reacting to everything that he's just done, reacting in horror, reacting in "I have to get rid of this," then reacting in "No, I can't." It just through his facial expressions.
Did he have a golem, or would it just like that? Would that greed just be called the golem? Because he had Gollum's face when he like
when
transformed
in Fellowship when he was like, "Bah!"
Yeah. Would you call that a golem? Like he has his own golem. Bilbo is to Smeagol as Smeagol is to Gollum.
Gollum is the parasite of the ring.
Okay, so he has a golem technically, and that's what like was coming out. I feel like Bilbo was so close to having that. Like, if it wasn't for literally everyone around him helping him, I feel like he would have like drawn out that. So it's love that protects you from greed, I guess. Yeah, it's a pretty good theme.
I need to show you this scene because I think
I know exactly what you're talking about.
exactly,
too.
but it needs to be seen. It needs to be seen. We fast forward to that bit.
We're looking, and then it.
Sees the ring. He walks towards it, and then baby spider.
It's like a little pale one too. Yeah. It just touches it.
It just touches it.
And it sets him off. And then he just straight. No hesitancy. No passivism.
Like completely brutal. No mercy in his eyes.
No hesitation.
Just looks at the ring.
You can just see it.
Mine.
And look at Martin Freeman's facial expressions here.
Shock. Fear. Guilt. Right there. You could just see, like, he regretted that.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill easily, only, like, in self-defense, and then the greed just ate him right there.
Exactly. That was the ambiance coming back.
That was supposed to fade up. I just kind of jumped.
Yeah.
But, for my favorite moment...
Yeah.
In The Hobbit, 'cause I just go chronological.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Smaug's reveal when Bilbo
Oh,
is
that was
sneaking,
cool.
That had me on the edge of my seat. I was just like waiting for the.
I remember I was with my dad when watching Desolation of Smaug, and by the end of it, when he says, "I am fire, I am death," and then the movie ends, my dad and I were just looking at each other like, That's it?
Like,
No!
when being able to end something like that with you on the edge of your seat, that is like that keeps you wanting more.
I don't think a movie, to be fair to The Hobbit, I don't think a movie has ever pulled off that big of a cliffhanger. A movie series has never pulled off that big of a cliffhanger. That's like a TV thing to do. And they did that in movie form, and it worked.
Because I feel like cliffhangers usually have to be very somber and end on like a
final note.
Things resolved. No, this does not resolve. You will go down in fire. Cut. But then, and then in the third Lord of the Rings, it's like, okay, it's over, and it's not over. Okay, it's wrapping up. Okay, and he's going off with a boat, and it's over.
Exactly.
And we're back in the Shire. Okay.
Exactly. The Desolation of Smaug literally ended with an entire village about to be burnt to the ground, and
After all this going.
And Bilbo just says, "What have we done?"
Like,
fade to black, cut to black.
That's strong. I feel like only short films now can get away with something like that.
That is a TV style cliffhanger, and I am all for that.
I want to see more of that in big pictures. So that
that's what we're gonna do.
I was gonna say it's not. Yeah,
that's what we're gonna do.
It's not sequel bait. It's a strong, powerful cliffhanger, not a somber wrap up.
It's not a sequel bait. It's a cliffhanger. There is difference. There is a big difference.
It makes you want more.
Exactly.
In a good way.
It makes you want more without feeling that there is vital information missing.
That is my favorite from The Hobbit. Smaug was
awesome.
Lived up to his
Cumberbatch.
Reveal. What is it with him and giant monsters? He plays a good monster.
Did you ever notice during that scene it was Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman acting together?
Wait.
Sherlock.
Oh, I was thinking, who's Martin Freeman in Marvel? He plays someone in Marvel, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's Everett Ross.
Everett Ross. That's not
Shield agent.
Why am I thinking of Thunderbolt Ross?
Because it's the same last name.
Okay, so they're just both coincidentally in the high military against an Avenger named Ross.
Yeah, and they both just so happen to be in Civil War.
Wow, that is way too. Sorry, my brain wires like met there. I feel like that's a slight problem with overhiring some actors. They're great actors, but when I see them too much, they
just sort of like blend together.
But their characters are still distinct for the most part.
I can't tell you how many Martin Freeman movies I had to watch for him not to just be Bilbo in my eyes.
I think him being a little older helps, but he still has he doesn't have baby face quite as much. He just has young features.
Exactly.
He has giant eyes that aren't scary compared to Elijah Wood. That sounds so mean.
Yes, you are. You are being so mean to Elijah Wood this episode.
You know what I mean.
Okay, so what is your favorite
from
Lord
the Lord
of the Rings?
Ooh, the white Gandalf.
Gandalf the White.
I'm saying the white Gandalf reveal, you know?
Well, he is white.
Gandalf the White reveal.
There you go.
From the fade from white to white Gandalf the White.
I am Saruman. Rather Saruman as he should be.
I like how he did the Christopher Lee voice too, just to match it.
Yes.
He
was punking them. He knew what they were gonna do. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this weird trick voice," and they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's Saruman," and then I'm gonna do the little fade. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
You thought it was me, but no, it's me, Gandalf. I'm back.
You got punked.
You got punked. You shall not. You shall not. That's a good one. That's a good funny for that. You shall not get punked. I tripped over that.
So mine is very common.
Mine are both very heavy.
My Lord of the Rings one especially was very common. I feel like that's like a favorite of most people. Yours came out of left field.
Mm-hmm. I pride myself in unconventional but not incorrect favoritism. But yeah. Just a weird thing. Is there another poll?
No. We're done with the polls.
Just a thought. I feel like monks and magicians, they aspire to do everything that hobbits just do whenever they leave the Shire. Like walking on hot stones. Hobbits, they have once again feet calluses. How strong? They have shoes just naturally. Is their skin that strong? They can survive so much.
I think we know why Quentin Tarantino likes Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. A lot of lady hobbits too, huh? We don't.
Couple.
I was gonna say, how many lady dwarves have we really seen?
Lady dwarves? No lady dwarves.
Well,
They made
we
a
saw
joke.
one in a locket. We saw one in a locket.
They made a joke about that in Two Towers.
Yep, and it's like, well, sometimes you can't tell them apart.
This has given birth to the rumor that there are no dwarf women, and that we just burst out of the ground.
And they all grow out with beards.
It's the beards.
But yeah. Oh yeah, didn't we see what goblin birth looks like? Or was that orc birth? When they
No, that was Urukai birth. It's a mix. I had to actually look this up. The Urukai that Saruman makes are a biological mixture of goblin and orc.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense actually, because like he does look like, oh, is that how they're born? Because in Adventure Time, that is actually how goblins are born in a similar way, like a mud pit like that.
I feel like that's where Adventure Time got that.
Yes, and that makes much more sense.
And they just simplified it.
And also, if you watch Adventure Time and think this is created by big D&D fans, that is why.
Oh, absolutely.
That is so why the show flows like a D&D campaign,
Yeah.
with your party, with your arc, with your characters, with your stats to a T. And I'm like, wow, that makes so much more sense. But think about it, like monks training themselves to be able to handle any sort of psychological or brain-focused
Living
issues.
a life of peace and harmony with
Isolation.
everything around you, even nature.
Magicians trying to do the impossible, disappearing, going invisible, being greedy.
Well, that last one can only be achieved by like couple hobbits that only have the ring.
Once again, magicians need to get paid, so they gotta chase the ring, gotta chase the gold.
With that said, I think I know. Like I spent a whole week thinking about this. I think I know why I don't connect with Lord of the Rings that much. Because it's the villain, Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get behind it.
But I feel like if the Eye of Sauron was Sauron instead of a person, if it was like some giant evil thing, not an evil person.
That's not my big issue is what was Vader's motivation?
To rule the galaxy.
No, there's more than that. There is a whole history behind his motivation.
For Vader?
Yes.
To achieve power in the Force to bring Padme back?
At first that was that, and then the urge just grew more and more and more and more. Voldemort's
vengeance?
Voldemort's motivation was to kill all of Muggle-borns and all the Muggles and all that stuff, but it came from a history of not being physically, mentally not being able to love, and realizing that he himself is a half-blood. It came from that sort of hatred. What was Sauron's motivation? Besides just rule Middle-earth. What was his motivation?
You just put me in a corner. I was going to say rule Middle-earth. To get the power of the ring.
Why?
To rule Middle-earth.
Why?
I mean, same reason that orcs are like chaotic.
Exactly. That's my big thing.
Well, what's the reason that orcs are chaotic?
Exactly.
It's like warrior race in their nature. Sauron.
That's my big thing. I can't get behind something with so simple of motivation. With the simple motivation of because I'm evil. I cannot personally.
Greed, gold, riches motivates usually. That's why it lasts so long. That's why
Yeah, but that greed, gold, riches, that comes from a place that comes from a history
you think
of
because
someone.
He didn't have an immediate good intention that made you want to like him?
Exactly. Even in the original trilogy, even Vader was revealed to even if you just watch the original trilogy on its own, even Vader had a motivation that was deeper than just I want to rule the galaxy.
Wasn't it also to like serve my sensei or my master?
I want to make the galaxy safer. I think it will be safer under my rule and
in my control.
Under my control, and just to show that I'm not a 100% bad guy, I want my strange son to join me.
Yeah. And then
Voldemort
didn't really have that for Harry, though, did he?
He didn't have that for Harry, but if you apparently read the books, there is an entire history that he was not in his right mind from the beginning.
So if he was in the right mind, he could have gone about his objective and then possibly tried to get Harry on his side.
Exactly. That's what.
That's at
first what he was trying to do.
But Sauron doesn't ever want to work with Bilbo or.
He never wants to work with him. He just wants to kill him.
So, even Gandalf, if he tried to convince Gandalf, because Gandalf's magic could have turned on him.
I'm pretty sure he tried that with Aragorn at the last minute, and then Aragorn said no.
Even Smaug was like, I don't really want to kill you, Baggins. I kind of like your praise, but it's not going to save you. Don't think that it's going to save you. But I do.
I like you. Give me the Firestone, and maybe I'll let you live. I like you, so maybe I'll let you live.
So Smaug is what Smaug's personality is possibly what Sauron could have had, because
even Saruman had better motivation.
And like Smaug could have just been like, because dragons love to eat gold or lay in it. It's their
catnip.
Yeah, it's their catnip. Thank you. I was like, it's their thing they roll around in love. It's like pig in mud.
It's like money.
Yeah.
Don't you roll around in money? Don't you have that sort of pool?
It's been a while since I watched Breaking Bad. I like it's like a mattress for me. When I say money mattress, I don't mean mattress full of dollar bills. I mean like a mattress that is actually
a mattress that is made of dollar bills.
Thank you. Huel. I want to be like Huel Babineau.
Yeah. Because we all want to have that moment where we're in front of that much cash and we're like, well, gotta see what it's like.
And then it's nice.
Yeah.
When you know the money's from the bank, so no one's put their fingers on it. So it's clean, it's nice, it's soft, it's made of cotton. It's like the money's made of cotton, so it's a cotton bed, it's a cotton mattress.
Exactly.
Think about that. But yeah, even
we're gonna rob a bank and steal money and just use it we're not gonna buy anything with the money. We're just gonna sleep on it.
No. Then you have to like stitch the dollars together to make the layers so that it doesn't like break apart. So it's like, yeah, it's a giant cotton mattress.
Exactly. What's wrong? What's so wrong with that? We just go up to the bank, tell them that's what we're gonna do, and they don't call the cops on us. They don't throw us out. They just look at us weird.
Oh, what was it where someone would like wanted to hold like I think it was like 20,000. They wanted to hold like $1,000 in their hand, and they were handed like a stack of 20s. He's like, this doesn't feel like a lot, and they're like, hold on, let me get it in $1 bills, and it was like a bunch. So he was like cradling it. He's like, yeah, this is what it is.
It sounds like a Key and Peele sketch.
I think it was My Name is Earl. He was trying to help someone like know what it's like to be.
Oh no! Key and Peele. I remember the sketch that I'm thinking of. They were working out a drug deal. And they were counting out the money, and they were like, "Okay, so how are we gonna make sure this is $100,000?"
Yeah, I also struggle to count stuff like that. It's like 1, 2, 5. Yeah, okay, 7, 8. What do you mean I didn't pay the whole? What do you mean I didn't pay the whole check?
And then they eventually just decide to Rain Man it and just throw it in the air and just count that way, and it works.
Man, but yeah, Smaug didn't have to be as charismatic and interesting.
It's just Benedict Cumberbatch. So, I mean, I'm just gonna say it right now, and I know Star Trek fans are gonna get on me for this, but he was the best Khan. He was the best Khan. I'm saying it.
You're bold. That was part of J.J. Abrams, right?
Yep.
You're bold. You're a bold one.
To be fair, I watched the original series episode with Khan, and I watched Wrath of Khan, and I love something Montalban. Ricardo Montalban.
Isn't that German highway you can drive any speed on? That's the Autobahn.
Yeah. I love Ricardo Montalban, and he's so good in both of those. But man, the amount of depth that Cumberbatch brought to Khan's character, that the emotion that he brought to it, and the head squishiness of it too.
Cumberbatch is just also, he's like a really good voice actor, especially for giant monsters. He knows how to like personify them.
He is underrated in how diverse he is.
Yeah, he's not just an actor. He's a voice actor. He is a, what is that called? A mocaptor. Him and like him and Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis, I think, is the king.
Andy Serkis, and there was the guy who plays Kong. The guy who plays Kong in the new movies.
Who plays like Kong?
Toby something. Toby.
Like Kong, Skull Island Kong.
Kong Skull Island. Kong versus Godzilla. Toby something. Not Toby Hooper.
And it says Andy Serkis.
Nope. Toby something.
The Kong. Okay, come on. Why is my phone freezing?
Toby from Kong's Skull Island.
My phone is actually freezing up right now. This is annoying. Come on.
Toby.
The internet.
Toby Kebbell.
Toby
Kebbell. That's him.
Was he in Pacific Rim? I think he was one of the. I feel like he was one of the guys in Pacific Rim.
Nope.
Okay, that would be really annoying too, just because they're both legendary properties.
Toby Kebbell. He was in Kong as a real person, but he was also the motion capture person for Kong in both Skull Island and Godzilla vs. King Kong. And
wait, I can see.
And he was the
one that had white eyes in the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Both.
Dawn and Rise.
He was in both Dawn and Rise. I can't remember the ape's name. Ape. Not.
Well, here. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and go to cast. Go back. Yeah. You see, 2014 film. Down. Right there. Go back. Back. Up. Stop.
Oh, there it is.
Thank you.
See more.
For Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Here.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes cast. Dawn of the
Cast.
Of the Apes cast.
Koba. And Koba had white eyes, I think, or like, he was the angrier older one. Yeah. Dude, I think we both
Caesar loves humans more than his own sons.
I think we could do a Planet of the Apes episode. I think we're both.
Dude, I love the trilogy. The trilogy's so good.
I love the trilogy and the original, like 60s.
I've never seen the older ones.
Ooh, we can skip
I've only seen the trilogy.
We can skip the 99 2001, that awkward in between that has no value.
But Mark Wahlberg.
60s trilogy. That's all you need. It's
What?
essentials.
No.
No. The essentials. You know how we said a mix of practical and CG usually always works? That is the example of where it does not. 60s, all practical with some like post effects, but not really CG because it's not made a computer. It works. Planet of the Apes trilogy, it's beautiful. It's gonna last forever, pretty much. You can even remaster it with like a slight deep fake if we get ape deep fakes, not just
even
people.
I'm pretty sure like over a decade, Rise of the Planet of the Apes still holds up.
Like when we say
When
it's
The
not going-
Hobbit doesn't.
Oh, you sneaky. When it comes to stuff like that, though, it is appreciable for a while, especially as staples of introducing those kinds of effects. And, Andy Serkis. Once again, this is the Andy Serkis praise episode. Sorry,
Exactly.
You can't not.
He deserves the praise.
Where there is not recognition for the appreciable, we will stand to appreciate it. That's real Rutgers.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm sorry, I could see Toby Kebbell's face on Kong, like his resting face. Him and Kong have like that same, like.
Did you hear they're making a sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong?
I know that's gonna step in that direction. Can we talk about that in a future episode maybe? Because we haven't done
we will do a future episode.
Because I talked about Godzilla, we can talk about Legendary because that's a. Yeah. I stepped just into.
I've seen the new Godzilla and Kong movies.
Legendary's Godzilla. You haven't.
I've seen Legendary's Godzilla. I've seen a fair bit of Kong. To be fair,
I showed you Godzilla Resurgence, aka Shin Godzilla.
Yes.
And Shin just means I think like new Godzilla. Like
even then, when I knew barely anything about Godzilla compared to Kong, I was still on Godzilla. I was still Team Godzilla when that movie was coming out.
I can understand as someone who almost argued in favor of Kong. What was I talking about though? With I feel like we're talking about the magic trick thing too, also. Because hobbits have the weird, crazy ability.
Yeah.
For birthing.
What?
the goblin birthing pits. I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like in fantasy, it's kind of generally conceived. I feel like we don't see baby goblins, do we? My dog kind of looks like a goblin from the front. He looks like a mix of Grogu and a goblin because he's got like head wrinkles.
Grow Goblin.
He is a Grow Goblin. And he's also a Bokoblin. Have you ever seen a Bokoblin? Just look, it's like Bok, B-O-K, Oblin.
B-O-K.
Yeah, Bokoblin. Breath of the Wild, I guess. Yeah, just Bokoblin, that works.
Goblin.
Mask. Doesn't that look like Tyson? He's got the
Yeah,
ears.
you gotta like stretch his ears out a bit, but yeah.
The mask doesn't look correct. If you just take away mask, then you'll get the actual one. Like, just delete the words.
I thought I did take away mess.
You didn't. That looks like it. He's even got the underbite and everything. The ears, the head wrinkles. Except my dog has brown eyes, not blue eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So.
Your dog looks like an elf, kind of.
My dog looks chunky.
Chunky elf.
Chunky elf.
So, just a warning to everybody at home. There's a tornado warning running around the whole place. I don't know why neither of our phones have, like, blown up with the weather alerts. You see that wind picking up out there?
Yep.
It's pretty spooky. It's like that nice warm, just a small rant, because weather has been making me very mad. It was snow flurries.
It was all over the place this week, man.
And today it's like I could wear shorts and a parka at the same time. It's like, this is what I imagined, like, if California wasn't a single weather, which is why you can't really, I feel like you can wear anything, but also you shouldn't really wear anything, where, like, you can have a parka or a Speedo in the same day at the same time, your choice. For here, it's like, you have to have one or the other on standby, because I'm going to have to switch into shorts and, like, a tank top midway through the day. Or tomorrow, I'm going to have to put on my winter boots. The next day, flip-flops.
So, with that said, now that we've talked a fair bit about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, let's move on to, like, Ring of Power.
Ring of Power predictions. That trailer was actually pretty enticing. I'm kind of excited.
Apparently, I looked at the cast list by complete accident. I'm gonna show you the characters.
I want to see these characters.
The Ring of Power.
The Ring of Fire.
Ring of Power cast. There we go.
Ring of Power cast.
Pay attention to the names. Elrond, Galadriel,
Nori, Orin, Isildur, High King.
Isildur.
Isildur.
Isildur is like a little kid. Isildur is the person who didn't throw the ring into the fire.
Are we gonna go that far back?
We're going far back.
Lord of the Rings does what I wish Star Wars would do at first.
Go to the Old Republic. Goes to the old
prequel. I want a prequel. Like I'm so glad we got double pop filters for the prequel.
Honestly,
the prequel pop filter.
Before I saw the name and before I paid attention to the picture, I thought that looked like Taylor Swift.
I thought it looked like who played what's her name in The Amazing Spider-Man? Gwen.
Oh, Emma Stone.
She kind of looks like Emma Stone if you like squint.
Yeah, a little bit. So,
but yeah,
like, I feel like I really do hope that this show gives us a bit more insight into, like, motivations behind literally everything that happened in Lord of the Rings.
Besides the greed of the ring driving everyone to chase the singular
I
person
want
who has
to
it.
know why the rings were created in the first place. Why?
And the only big explanation was the greed of man is why they had the most rings. Come on. Give me something that isn't just the greed of the rings.
The greed of the rings. I want to know, why did the elves have to have the rings? Why did the dwarves have to have the rings? What was important about the rings, and why couldn't the orcs have them?
Like, the dwarves had gold. They had a mountain full of it. The elves didn't really seem like they needed much. They already kind of had like they seemed like the most utopian.
And more importantly, what made the ring so powerful?
Was it just greed but evil? As if the regular greed wasn't...
Because all I can tell, it just turns you invisible. That's it.
I guess the effect of when you're invisible, that weird, like, worldview you're given where it's, like, kind of windy looking and, like...
Maybe.
And, like, foggy.
Maybe, but I can't see that as, like, the one ring to rule them all. The most powerful ring of all. That's what it does?
It seems like just one... If there were multiple rings, that seems like one of the rings... unique abilities. The other might be strength.
But this is the ring. This is the most powerful ring, and all it does is turn you invisible, and just while you're invisible, you just see like little ethereal plane sort of thing.
I guess, but I feel like invisibility isn't like the end all be all. Like, I don't know. I was expecting like
throughout 2 trilogies, all we saw was people turn invisible, people go mad, people see weird things when they're invisible.
I'm thinking the pen from the lightning thief seems more like something that you would get out of a ring. Like a ring that has a sword in it. Like you put it on and there's a sword.
Just remind me of that scene from Percy Jackson. And I can't tell you.
He clicks the pen.
I can't tell you how many times after watching that movie I tried to click pens just to see.
You can't. I don't think you can get that unless you know those stupid staffs they sell on like Instagram and stuff. It's like a hollow tube.
I want to buy one of those.
Get one not from those. If you get it from like I forget what the site's called. Hold on, I know what it is. If you go on like AliExpress and you get one made of steel, not aluminum, the aluminum ones will shatter if you actually try to like spin it or anything. You have to get one that like. Also, the aluminum one, even if you know like that little grenade pin it has in it.
Yeah.
If those things are prone to bend and then snap, and then in your pocket it'll just explode. So don't get. I
swear to God, this doesn't happen that often.
Come on!
You had to go there. I had to.
Oh my dude, you keep sneaking these. Give me a second. Sorry. You caught me. You said I was out of left field. But yeah, for a staff like that, get one off of like AliExpress and make sure it's like made of metal because you can find good stuff.
Oh, we're on the subject. What's your favorite Lord of the Rings like sort of like melee weapon? Like,
I mean, Frodo's sword.
Frodo's
pretty hype.
Sting is your favorite?
I don't know. I feel like Sting puts more fear up front than Batman does in his career. I'm not scared of the bat. Everyone in Lord of the Rings is like, the blue sword. And they like back up and cower in a corner.
That's fair.
And think about it, like, oh, the Sting. Oh, it's like the scorpion of swords. It literally is like, it's not a giant, like, long blade. It's not the best dagger. But everyone's scared of it. And that's awesome. It's like, it's a bee. It's like a little wasp, hornet, sting.
I do think that my favorite sword, even though I think most of the sword designs in Lord of the Rings are really cool. Especially in The Hobbit with, I think it was, what's his name? The Dwarf King.
Oh, here.
The Dwarf King. His sword. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Is it black and silver?
Nope. It's like a wood.
Thorin.
Thorin. His sword.
Wait,
like it's
Thor? Thror?
Thorin.
Thror.
Nope, it's Thorin's sword. I'm gonna search it up right now. Here you go.
Shopping.
Thorin's sword.
What about the one that's elven? That one's pretty hype.
This one.
Yeah, it's an elven sword, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that sword is pretty cool, but my favorite sword is probably
it looks more Atlantean than elf to me. Like the hilt looks elf, but like the sword itself looks like a fish, you know?
True. I think my favorite sword is probably Aragorn's sword. Like the one
It's called the Orcist sword. Orcrist. There we go. The King's sword.
The King's sword.
Yeah, it's the black and silver. I like that one. It's a good long sword.
That one might be my favorite because, like, not only is the hilt really cool, that's a cool looking hilt, but also there is that awesome moment in Return of the King where Aragorn is facing off against the ghosts. They tried to cut him, and he blocks the ghost blade with the sword, and the Ghost King is like, "That blade was broken." He stabs him, and he says, "It has been remade."
That was cold, but yeah, I don't know. For some reason I got like main character liking with this, and you know I don't think I really like any main characters that much.
Yeah, I mean I like Anakin.
Problematic, very problematic.
Yeah,
more than Luke.
Oh, way more than Luke.
Wow. Could see where the problems. Now, I like Bilbo, and Bilbo's greed issues aren't really his greed issues. They're like a sub
sort
product.
of sloth.
Yeah,
it's just sloth. His greed at first wasn't greed. It was just sloth. I'm content with my life. Don't bother me.
Anakin, straight up slave to genocider. Like, and the in between was just, willy-nilly teenager. And then again, even he was a pretty genocidal teenager.
I think there's a bit more than that.
War criminal.
Well, all the Jedi were war criminals.
Yeah, but like Anakin, like rode that.
Well, everyone was doing it, so that makes it okay.
Man, you, I don't know. You have no backing to this. I don't know why you like it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, but we'll get into that in a later episode, probably.
Kenobi, dude. Like, come on.
Kenobi.
But yeah, I think the only thing is, long swords, I feel like he swings it like it weighs 100 pounds.
Because it probably does.
No,
Look at that thing. That's.
Longswords actually aren't heavy at all.
Oh no, I'm thinking of a great sword.
Yeah, great swords. That's like as big as Cloud's sword or something.
Yeah.
Like, even that one. Usually they are very light. I feel like the reason you need so much strength is because if it's very wide, like the blade is very long. No, it's like a wing. It'll fly.
I think it's like that because either you're cutting through armor with it, or you're cutting through people with it. You're like cleaving through them. You're not stabbing. You're cleaving through people.
You can get a stab in there unless you're
You
like.
can get a stab in there, but that's not what the sword is specifically meant for.
I feel like swords.
If you wanted to stab someone, then a rapier would be the best one.
Yeah.
Rapiers are stabbing swords. That's a cleaving sword right there.
And what is the really long
And
axe?
speaking of my red flagness, my knowledge of melee weapons.
No. I think we all had like a melee weapon gun loving phase.
Oh
Like,
no, I never had a gun level phase. I was
wasn't
always
really like
sword.
a gun. For me, it was like Nerf guns, and
I was a sword person all the way.
I just liked. I feel like I had a giant collection of Nerf guns. It was like wall sized.
I had like so many toy lightsabers and so many toy swords.
I pride myself in younger me being able to deflect Nerf bullets with a lightsaber and with a sword.
Played the beginning of Duel of the Fates as you're doing that.
More like Blade or Wade. Blade or Wade.
Blade or Wade. So, I feel like there's only one way that we can possibly end a discussion of Lord of the Rings while talking about our favorite characters and how we appreciate the main characters, probably more in this franchise than in any other franchise. That being, we gotta find out which character we are.
Oh man,
We're finding out.
I knew you were gonna find something like that.
Yep.
I knew it.
Which character from? Should we go Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit?
I feel like if you say the Hobbit, you'll get both because
True.
there's recurring from Lord of the Rings, but there's not recurring from the Hobbit, obviously.
Which character from Lord of the Rings are you?
Brainful. Character quiz.
Should we do BuzzFeed or
Start with a BuzzFeed and see, because I feel like BuzzFeed will include stuff from Hobbit too.
Oh, it's from 2020. Yeah, they'll include.
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
from Hobbit.
I'm just thinking there's usually a little more updated, so they include more.
Yeah. So, with that said, you want to go first?
Sure, why not? Let
All right.
me see.
Pick a Middle Earth species.
Oh, it's just D&D again.
Exactly.
Man, no wonder BuzzFeed keeps hunting them.
I actually have a good idea for a D&D style game.
Style game or like a campaign?
A campaign that's not like D&D but reminiscent of it.
It can be a campaign that's not fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a campaign, just not a fantasy game.
I have a sci-fi version of that.
That's cool.
I have that in mind. So
Tell
one
me.
of these days we'll get something like that, and we'll probably like Twitch it or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Do you think we can get a group going for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. We'll be able to hunt down people.
I mean,
for
my cousins apparently love D&D.
and my oldest sister is like, she's the reason I pretty much know about it that much. Also, Odd, she was a DM, so
Yeah.
She-
we can get a campaign going like really easy.
some
But
responsible folks.
Yeah. But with that said,
Let me choose my race.
are you elves, dwarves, orcs, hobbits, men, or ents? Which one?
Ents?
Ents. Tree people.
Tree people.
Tree. I am no tree.
I am Groot. I don't want to be a dwarf. I feel like
But the Hobbit made some dwarfs pretty.
I think I'll be an elf. Why not? I don't know. I don't know what I reminisce the most of.
To be fair, Legolas in Fellowship of the Ring probably has my favorite moment, and it's so subtle. Where they're climbing the mountain of snow, and everyone's like chugging through the snow, and just you see Legolas just walking past them on top of the snow. Like, well, that might be Legolas's most awesome moment, and that wasn't even an action scene.
I feel like the elves are still the sneakiest.
Oh, absolutely.
Besides hobbits, obviously. Like
You want them
hobbits,
as ninjas. Those
elves are
ninjas.
lighter on their feet. Hobbits are quieter.
Yes. Choose a place. The Shire, Rivendell, Isengard, Helm's Deep, or Mordor.
Who wants to go to Mordor? Go up.
Anyone who chose orcs?
I guess. I'm Isengard.
Isengard has always looked cool, not gonna lie.
My antagonist?
Choose an antagonist.
No Sauron, are you kidding me?
Sauron, Saruman, Gollum, Grima Wormtongue, which, by the way, Whoever trusted someone named Grima Wormtongue?
Like, bro, you walked in on that.
Yeah,
You
deserve that.
You gotta trust what comes out of the Wormtongue's mouth?
And lastly, the Witch King of Agmar, who always looked awesome.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Obviously there's a missing choice here. Smaug.
Oh yeah.
I could
And
talk
there's
with Smaug.
also the what's it? The white orc, the pale orc. That's the pale orc. You know who I'm talking about, right?
From Star Trek Discovery, yeah, the pale one. Come on, dude, they're space orcs.
I hate you.
They're space orcs. Literally to a T.
I hate you, but yes.
The hair is religious too. And brutes. And brutes from Halo.
Choose your antagonist.
Go up. Saruman.
You going Saruman?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go Christopher Lee.
Do we know if the wizards were elf-eared or man?
I'm pretty sure they were like.
I feel like they had their hair like that to hide that, so we would guess.
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember where I heard this, but I'm pretty sure they were like gods who became
angels. They're angels from another.
Who became man to protect the realms of men.
That is why Gandalf got sent back and became the White.
Yes.
My older sister told me that. Shout out to Gordo.
Choose a protagonist. Elrond, Galadriel.
No. Maybe.
Gimli or Boromir. By the way, the person I said for was Arwen. God, I hate Arwen.
I'm thinking Boromir or Gimli. It's a hard picking my redheads. One does not simply
choose between their gingers.
Man, I think Gimli. Actually, go down. Boromir. I know it's a little. It's a little.
That's the right choice right there.
Yeah, I know it's. Gimli just close.
Gimli.
Second. Gimli, sorry. Ghibli. I was thinking Ghibli.
Choose a film. Fellowship. Two Towers. Return of the King. Unexpected Journey. Desolation of Smaug or Battle of the Five Armies.
Desolation of Smaug.
That's your favorite of all of them?
I like the Smaug idea. I like the journey to the big boss fight. You know, I like the giant scene. I like the environment. I like the aged scenery. Why would you? I'll wait for you. But yeah, Desolation of Smaug. I feel like I got the most out of the environments for that.
I got a whole thing about the Desolation of Smaug. So you're Aragorn.
Ooh.
You are the heir of Gondor, known as Elisar and Strider. You are a humble and skilled fighter who puts your loved ones before your own vanity.
Which is why he had an entire town on his side against the royalty. Yeah. Just saying.
I will also admit, Viggo Mortensen, best actor he played Lucifer in The Prophecy. He might be my favorite villain.
Ooh. And
he's not even the villain. He's just there. He's just there for a couple scenes, but he's amazing.
As Satan?
As Lucifer himself.
As Lucifer, sorry.
As Lucifer himself in the movie The Prophecy, and he's amazing.
I kind of want to see that now.
My parents would say, yes, watch it.
Sweet.
Because it stars Christopher Walken as the angel Gabriel.
That sounds perfect.
Yes.
I know what project we're gonna launch for Capstone too.
Yes.
I know exactly. I'm like, man, I'm not sure if I have. I know exactly what I'm gonna launch.
So my turn.
I got Aragorn, dude.
Yeah. You are king.
That's a win. That is a win.
Yeah.
So pick a Middle Earth species: elves, dwarves, orcs, hobbits, men, or ents.
Yeah, mine's pretty obvious too. Elves. They're the most powerful characters. They're the most powerful characters.
Yeah. Like, also, aren't they, like, partially immortal by like, Middle Earth standards?
Yeah. Especially when they go to, like, on the boat to wherever they go at the end. What?
On the boat.
They go on the boat.
Yeah, on the boat.
They go on the boat to the place.
Where? On the boat. Where? On the boat.
Exactly. We're not huge Lord of the Rings fans, but we're nerds enough.
On the boat.
Choose a place.
The Shire, Rivendell. I don't know why I snaped. Isengard, Helm's Deep, and Mordor.
Because Severus Snape. Because
Alan
Rickman and the guy who plays Elrond and Agent Smith are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, -5 points to. Oh, simulation glitched. Hold on, I'm reconnecting.
I would. It's. I might go Rivendell.
Really?
Rivendell just seems so peaceful.
Yeah. It's like fantasy Coruscant.
Exactly.
Well, top of Coruscant. Fantasy top.
No,
of
I would honestly say it's fantasy Naboo.
Yes. That's better. You're right.
Choose.
That is hazy.
Wow. That's windy.
Yeah. Choose an antagonist. Sauron.
No.
Saruman.
Maybe.
Gollum.
Maybe.
Grima Wormtongue.
No.
Or which king of Angmar?
Maybe.
Choose
I might go Gollum.
Gollum.
Because unlike all of these people, Gollum has motivation.
And like sides. He has sides to him. Like very
Gollum has motivation. He has he's a three-dimensional character.
Oh wait, very three-dimensional.
Unlike any of them.
Hey, Saruman's got like he's two-sided. He's not a three-dimensional. He's pretty two-sided.
He's two-sided.
But not
Gollum's three.
Yeah. Choose a protagonist.
Say
Elrond. Galadriel.
Yep.
Gimli. Or Boromir.
I already said he was my favorite character from Lord of the Rings, so obviously Boromir.
You're getting a little close to me. You're getting a little close.
Yes, but I said Boromir was my favorite character first.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we just have similar taste for something that we're both not the biggest fans of but appreciate.
We have basic taste.
Basically. Choose a film. Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, Return of the King, Unexpected Adventure, Unexpected Journey, I'm sorry. Desolation of Smaug, and The Battle of the Five Armies.
I'm going Return of the King.
Wow.
Very obvious, but also very objective.
Right off the top, at the bottom, at the end.
Right.
Off
Wow.
the top.
Off the top,
At the end.
bottom, the end.
Exactly. On the boat. And it ends
Frodo!
See, I feel like in motion he looks fun, but they're gonna pick the most awkward frame of him during this, when his eyes are like open.
You are the hobbit and bearer of the One Ring. You
leave your life in the Shire for a perilous adventure. You are the heart of the Fellowship, and all through power tempts you Although
power tempts, there is no through. Where are you getting through from?
Though. I thought there's an R in there. Although power tempts you, you remain a true friend. Provided by New Line Cinema. You got Frodo'd.
I mean, last week I got Billy Butcher, so I guess this is my other half.
I was gonna say that's your trade-off. Did you know Carl Urban is in it?
Yeah.
I did. Dude, he's unrecognizable at first.
Because he's blonde.
Yeah, and long hair, and doesn't say anything.
Well, he does.
Dude, come on.
He says stuff in Two Towers.
Yeah, but dude, come on.
He screams in Return of the King.
He doesn't really talk that much. Be honest. Like.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention.
How many lines of dialogue does he have?
Couple. He has a fair few.
He's pretty.
He has more than Boba Fett, that's for sure.
I was gonna say he's pretty quiet and stoic.
I would honestly. I have one other thing to say. Eowyn, the blonde princess from Rohan, and Mary. Not gonna lie, I think they should have gotten together.
Eowyn and Rohan.
No, Eowyn
from Rohan.
No, Eowyn from Rohan.
Mm-hmm.
And Mary. I think they should have gotten together. They make more sense. They had a whole scene. Where they just they inspire each other. They bring each other up.
Instead of I'm helping this dying person because I'm the only person who really knows how to. So I guess we're in love just because I'm saving your life. But like,
there's an entire scene where Mary and Eowyn are just talking to each other, and they're like saying, "You don't deserve this battle," and they're both saying to each other, "You don't deserve this battle. You're better than this." And they're just charming each other. And
it's not just like the need to save someone, and then it's like, oh, I owe you my love, I guess.
They should have gotten together. I'm not gonna lie.
I get that.
I don't know who said it first because I'm copying off someone else, but I think
whoever said it was right. Yeah, whoever said it.
I'm pretty sure it was Lindsay Ellis, the nostalgia chick. Pretty sure she said it.
Mm-hmm.
And I agreed.
The nostalgia chick. Sorry. What is her not stage name? She has like a name.
Lindsay Ellis.
No, like her character name. She has like Doug has Nostalgia Critic. She has something.
Nostalgia chick.
Am I thinking of Tamara?
Tamara?
I'm thinking of Tamara, aren't I?
Yes.
Sorry, there's only like 2 girls on Nostalgia Critic, and I still mixed them up.
There are multiple girls on Nostalgia Critic, and Nostalgia Chick wasn't one of them, but okay.
Yeah, I'm saying Tamara's the only girl.
Tamara. Why can't you say Tamara?
Because there's Tamara.
You're thinking you are so on Boba Fett. You have such a man crush for Boba Fett.
Yeah, and. But yeah, you're just mad because you got Frodo'd.
You're just mad because you got Starlight.
Okay, listen. Okay, you listen here.
I win.
No.
I win because I got the person who says the C word.
Yeah, like it's.
That's why I win.
Yeah. Okay, Frodo.
Sam.
Gandalf. I laugh at it thinking about it, but watching it, I will cry. Like I'll tear up at his wake up. So yeah.
You were saying about tearing up? How you feeling now, boy?
I feel like I just woke up.
Wow, I didn't realize that Gandalf was singing during this whole ambiance.
You perfectly timed that.
Wow.
It was all on purpose. Planned it from the start. I perfectly timed that argument.
I would have honestly been okay if I got Boromir, because I know he dies.
But like,
good character.
Yeah, as I say, good characters can die.
I mean, just look at any character from Game of Thrones.
Hey, come on, spoilers. For me, spoilers for me.
Spoilers for you. Any character dies.
Wait, people die in the show?
Many characters die.
People die in things? People die?
People die in things. And most of the time, it's not the people you want to die.
People die brutally? No.
Oh, by the way, before we end things off, I just gotta say, the House of the Dragons, the Game of Thrones prequel, it's coming out in August.
I need to go through all of Game of Thrones. How long do you think that's going to take me? Months?
I got through it in I think it was a month and a half.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
But to be fair, this was last year when I wasn't taking school yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had time.
I had time.
I could have binged so many things with all that time. I did. I feel like I was going through multiple series instead of binge, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. You need to watch Euphoria.
I need to watch Euphoria, that's true.
Well, speaking of binge, because you want to binge it, which it's going to damage you in the brain, dude. That's going to hurt. That's like trying to go through, all of El Camino straight off of all of Breaking Bad. That's gonna hurt.
True. But,
bad.
With that said, I think this is a good time to leave off.
I really liked everything we said. It's really long, honestly. These trilogies are long.
Oh, absolutely. It's insanely long.
Hobbit, kind of unnecessarily, still seems like you could have summed it up a little bit more.
Originally, the plan was for it to be 2 movies long, and for the director to be Guillermo del Toro.
That sounds pretty awesome. That sounds like it could work.
But del Toro dropped off, and then...
What was the director's name? It was Pete or something.
Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson came back. Peter Jackson came back and said, "You know what? I'm going from producer to director, and we're gonna do this my way."
I was gonna say Peter makes it work. Peter Jackson makes it work. And
I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
I think the whole thing with George Lucas happened with him too.
Oh, where he had a bunch of yes-sirs around him.
Yep. Because he made Lord of the Rings. And I would say even more so than George Lucas, because Return of the King won Best Picture.
Mm-hmm. I get that. Yeah, you're right. But still, you can't. It's hard to dislike. It's not bad. I wouldn't call it bad.
It's not bad. It's just it could have been better, and you could see it on the screen how it could have been better.
Which, yeah, it's a pretty big criticism. Yeah, I can see that.
So with that said, next time on Real Wreckers.
I think it's gonna happen. I think we're getting there.
Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it's going to happen by next episode, or do you think we should take one more because you're busy this weekend? Don't forget, you're busy this weekend.
I am kind of busy. I don't know though, mate. I'm thinking maybe at some point between Monday and Wednesday might be able to get something in. Maybe. So
I got
a big possibility, depending on our schedule, could be the Ghibli episode.
But
We also got some other stuff lined up though. That we
yeah,
can.
just in case I have an idea.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so here's the big thing. From this drunk scientist guy and this one really whiny kid, I stole from them a portal gun. And with it, I can go to different universes and different realities. So, I think next episode, if we don't do the Ghibli episode, we should go to these different realities and answer the biggest what ifs in entertainment.
A what if for entertainment?
The what ifs.
Like movies and TV?
The what ifs for entertainment.
Ooh.
What
Sounds
if?
like a lot.
What if episode 9 was Duel of the Fates? What if I don't know? What if? Let's do like what if Anakin killed Obi-Wan on Mustafar and won the duel? What if like Marvel did an entire show on this?
What if Jango Fett wasn't beheaded?
What if Jango Fett wasn't beheaded? What if I don't know? What if Sauron won? What if Sauron won? What if Hydra won? Well, she already did that, but well, that's what we're gonna do. We're going to go through the multiverse throughout the next week, and we're going to come back and answer the biggest what ifs of entertainment.
Gonna have like a small list of like prompts for that.
Exactly.
Like what if this...
We're going to do the biggest what ifs for like in-universe stuff for our favorite things. What ifs for the biggest in entertainment related stuffs, in terms of like movies that were never made, movies that were never made that should have been made, and then we're going to do the biggest what ifs. We're going to go into different multiverses, and we're going to find out what if we made certain movies. What if we made them different?
I kind of like that. Like, what if Jurassic Park never got recontained?
What if, like for example, what if you made Jurassic World? What would you change? What if I made Avengers Endgame? What would I change?
Okay.
We're gonna go to different multiverses, and we're going to do all of this.
Not only like a what if, but what would we do?
What would we do? What would happen if George Lucas stayed on with Lucasfilms? What if his sequel trilogy got made?
Or his prequel trilogy?
What if his prequel trilogy made?
I'm saying, what if
What if Guillermo del Toro stayed on for The Hobbit and it was only 2 movies?
Ooh.
We're gonna do all of these what ifs. We're gonna do so much. I have ideas.
Okay.
I have ideas.
I gotta start brewing. Then.
I have ideas of what we can do with this multiverse episode.
Okay. I think that might be our next. Just in case the Ghibli takes a little second.
Exactly. And just because I've always wanted to do a multiverse episode. I just didn't know how to incorporate a multiverse in. So
because we talk generally, if we talk about one thing, like,
and I love the multiverse. I love the idea of the multiverse. Mm-hmm. I do believe in the multiverse.
Like the real multiverse isn't quite exactly what the entertainment multiverse.
I do think scientifically the multiverse exists.
Yeah, like Planck's and what are they called? The things that vibrate that make up our frequency of universe.
Atoms?
But smaller than atoms. Planck's and lines.
Molecules?
Smaller. Molecules are atoms grouped together.
Midichlorians?
Smaller.
Smaller than midichlorians?
Midichlorians are organic. You're going bigger, it's atoms, molecules, organisms.
Sure.
But yes, it's Planck and string theory. The thing, Planks and strings.
Oh, okay.
The Planck is the solid. The string is the thing the frequency that vibrates to what universe we are. So if it was just slightly different universe, different frequency, different Plancks and strings.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a multiverse episode. I just didn't know how to incorporate it. And now that I stole this gun from this one weird drunk scientist guy and this weird whiny kid, I can finally go to the multiverse and we can finally see all of the what ifs.
And try to ease people more into the idea of it, because it's an interesting thing. It just seems scary at first, just like going to space. Sounds scary. It's the next logical step. It's like, what does the world mean? Well, it's not just the planet now. It's the system, the universe, the galaxy. Like,
exactly. We're going to be the watchers of the multiverse, only we're going to constantly interact.
I guess it would be multiverse.
Multiverse.
Multi-cubed whatever. I don't know what a 4-dimensional cube is called. Like square, line, square, cube, or dot, line, square, cube.
That's when the FBI get involved.
Yeah. So
the
phone just goes off and they just say, and like, wrap it up. Come on.
Exactly. So That's going to be next time. We're going to answer the multiverse's biggest what ifs. So, tune in for that next time on Real Wreckers. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. That is our Instagram at Real Wreckers, ReelReckers.
And our TikTok at Real Wreckers. That's ReelReckers to stay updated on all of our polls and for a shot at a shout out next time. I'm going to try to post a little bit more and maybe get some of our out of theater reactions because I feel like we could capture more of those in quick spits.
Oh, absolutely. Until then, I'm Billy.
And I'm Dalton.
And you can consider this real
Wrecked. Introducing the multiverse.
Yeah.